The fate of Gulf fisheries in a warming world. This is my draft by me, Jacob Hillmer, for Oceanography fall of 2021. The effects of warming water in Gulf fisheries. So the two main Gulfs I focused on was the Gulf of Mexico and the Gulf of Maine. And the shrimp have been changing their patterns a lot. It's not so much that there's less of them, it's just they're out of sync with the regular seasons of what the fishermen are used to and what they're allowed to fish. The oysters they're struggling because they are moving, they're also moving, and there's getting to be less of them. And their bag limit dropped from 140 bags in the early 90s to down to just 40 bags of oysters a day in their limits. And the article I was reading was actually from the Weather Channel. They used to be able to get 140 bags in 2 hours, and now they're spending 7.5 to 8 hours just to fill their 40 bags. And with the warmer waters, the oysters are getting more diseases that make their shells just like fall apart. So that's not good. And then actually up in the Gulf of Maine, their lobsters have moved farther northward, and which really affects the lower part of the Gulf because they don't have any lobsters there anymore. And then finned fish in the Gulf of Maine, their cod are moving out into deeper waters and pretty much out of the Gulf. And with the warmer waters, they're also having more problems with diseases and mass casualties of these fish. The economic effects of warmer water in the Gulf. So employment with this problems that they're having, there's less jobs there. And a lot of these little towns along the Gulf, that is their main source of income, is the fisheries of the Gulf and working on these fishing boats that are starting to dwindle away to nothing. Daily limits. So I mentioned earlier that they could have 140 bags of oysters before, which it fluctuates a little bit, but it's pretty much $40 a bag of oysters, which is a 100-pound bag. So they used to be able to get 140, and now they're down to only 40 bags. So that's just way less money. And then in the article I was reading from the Weather Channel about Scooter, he is 4th generation. And for a lot of these people, that's just the way of life. I would compare it to our small family farms in our central Minnesota area. I mean, that's just like all they know. They're what they want to do. It's what their dads did, what their grandpas did, what their great grandpas did. And now it's becoming very tough for them to make a living the same way their fathers and grandfathers could before them. Then what are the causes of the changes in these fisheries? Well, a lot of it can be linked back to the greenhouse gases and the whole global warming that we're all aware of. And the greenhouse gases then can be linked to increased rainfall, which the increased rainfall can have a lot more effect on the Gulfs because especially the Gulf of Mexico, a lot of major rivers run there. So it's not only the rain that they get right there, but even the rain that we experience here in the Midwest can have effects on that. And the biggest effect on the increased rainfall is it has effects on the salinity of the water. It lowers it, which can affect a lot of things with the different fish. For shrimp example, it makes them they'll just die out. They can't handle it. And a lot of other fishes can't handle the volatility either. And then the extreme weather. So they're experiencing more hurricanes than in past years due to warmer water and everything. So the extreme weather, and that'll flush the shrimp and oysters out of the Gulf or into unfishable waters. Then here I'm not quite done with, but this will be my explanation on how I think we can slow down the warming of the water in the Gulf. And then the effects if we don't change. This slide is also not finished, but pretty much if we don't change everything that we've known, especially in the Gulf of Maine, everything that we have known it for the past hundreds of years will not be the same by 2050. The lobster will have moved so far northward that pretty much, other than the very northern part of the Gulf, we'll have lobster. Otherwise, everything will be up in Canada. So it is getting pretty serious. Something needs to happen. Another thing is the smelt fishing in the winter up in the Gulf of Maine area. They're not getting the ice like they used to. It's just not there. So that shortens up their season a lot. The only positive that could come out of this is it could lengthen the season for recreational fishing, but the economic effects on the people who commercial fish will be substantial. Here are my resources, and then that would be it.